Ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to be taking a look at the Barbatos Lupus high-grade model kit from Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans. If you can't tell by the runners, there aren't really that many parts that come along with this kit. We've got a max of, I believe, 4 or so runners. This kit I actually built in probably less than 3 hours or 2 hours maybe. The instructions are pretty simplistic and straightforward. Again, like I said, there isn't really much to this kit. It's a pretty simple build, one of the easiest out of the 20 plus kits that I've built so far. So we're going to be painting the inner frame for Iron-Blooded Orphans mobile suit kits. They have this like really interesting inner frame, inner skeleton that you can kind of see with these little pistons. We're going to be using some Mr. Surface 1000 for the primer, some Vallejo acrylic paints because we're going to be hand painting this actually instead of doing my typical spray paint with like the Tamiya branded spray paints. And I mixed it a little bit in this plate here and there to get a variety of different colors, and it just looks like, well, puke. Don't get me wrong, this looks absolutely disgusting. So what does it look like so far now that it's painted? Unfortunately, I didn't actually start recording when I painted it, but this is what the product looks like thus far. So we painted a lot of the pistons, the inner frame pieces and stuff, this nice brass color. This is a beautiful color overall. It kind of looks a little bit goldish. I painted the gray part with a color called just black gray. That was it, just black gray. It is dry, so me manhandling like this is just fine. The paint is already cured and everything. Now, the only thing I'm a little uncertain about is what type of flat top coat that I'm going to actually use for this kit. You have to be really careful when you're mixing lacquer and acrylic paints together. You can actually fully prime a kit with a lacquer primer and then put acrylic on top of it, but you can't really prime a kit with acrylic primer and then put a lacquer on top of it. There's just some weird chemical reactions that occur. Moving on, we actually did paint the inner frames of the legs as well. We took the exact same brass color scheme that I did, put it on the back wiring and stuff just to give it a little bit more flair. We also attempted to hand paint the sword mace, but to be perfectly honest, I don't really like these brass accents that I added. They just don't look really good in my opinion. Follow for part 2, where I will give this a nice flat top coat and show you what the final result of the kit overall looks like.